a day without your cell phone? What was that day like? According to an article on the ABC News website, for most people, going several hours, talkless days without their cell phones causes them to go through withdrawal. A recent study showed that 40% of people surveyed cannot cope without a cell phone. 35% of people use cell phones as a way to escape their daily lives. 7% of people blame cell phones for the breakup of a relationship or the loss of a job. According to another survey from Harris Interactive, nearly half of U.S. teens say their social life would end or be ruined without a cell phone. Nearly 6 in 10, which is 60%, credit their mobile device with improving their lives. Believe it or not, there was a time when people lived without cell phones. I know nowadays it seems almost impossible to live without a cell phone. Today I will discuss how the use of cell phones has evolved over time, the future of cell phones, and the effects it has on our lives regarding to our health, relationships, and our daily activities. Everyone from teenagers to the elderly owns cell phones. Even my baby niece sent me a full sentence text message one day, and I was so surprised because she's only 7. That just goes to show that anybody can use a cell phone. Now let's talk about how the technology of cell phones has advanced. From the time when we used to use dial phones to when cell phones could barely fit in your pocketbook to now, cell phones can fit in your back pocket. There are some even smaller than that. Cell phones are amazing gadgets nowadays. You have Skype on your cell phone, you have the internet available on your cell phone, Google access. There's so many different kind of applications that cell phones have nowadays. Cell phones are also convenient. If somebody gives you a call and you're not in a position to where you can talk, you can always send them a text message letting them know you would call them back later, or you can even have a conversation through text message. Also, if you're stranded or you're in a situation where you need help and help is not available, you can always call someone for help. Cell phones also have negative effects. Some parents believe that cell phones take away from the social interaction they have with their kids. Some teens tend to become more attached to their cell phones, and therefore it decreases the time that parents get to spend with their children. Also, there have been some studies that prove that cell phones have negative effects on the health of people. One study shows that cell phones could prove harmful to the health of some men. In some studies, it showed that men that use their cell phones more often had a reduced sperm count, which could harm a male when it's time for them to have children. Also, some studies show that cell phone use may increase the risk of getting cancer. Now let's discuss the future of cell phones. Cell phones will continue to be passed down from generation to generation. It has become a necessity to each person, and constant technological advancements makes it enticing to buyers. The more cell phones improve and the more the technology becomes advanced, the more people want to buy cell phones. They want to be involved in what's going on with the improvement of cell phones. Home phones are now becoming a thing of the past. They're becoming extinct. A century ago, the proposal of talking through wireless phones was just unimaginable. It was only a dream. The development of communication and its devices has highly developed over the last century. Throughout the 1900s to the 21st century, cell phones have that have evolved in ways that years ago only people could imagine. Today's consumers look to advance the ways they choose to live through the use of cell phones communications. Several people say that cell phones are good because they help people communicate with each other, such as families who have hectic schedules and they may not be able to communicate as much as they want. They can communicate through cell phones, or they can even have phone conversations instead of having to visit. It is also good for people who may live overseas. You're able to communicate with them through your cell phone. Others disagree with the fact that cell phones are good. They argue that technology permits children and teens to become too independent too quickly. Lastly, we look at the prospect of cell phones and the fact that it has become impossible for our society to live without cell phones. The only way that cell phones are going to become a thing of the past is if another technological advancement is made in which people will then forget about cell phones and begin to use that form of technology. What is the future of cell phones? Could you see yourself living without a cell phone? The next time you pick up a cell phone, ask yourself, how have they evolved? Does the benefits of using cell phones outweigh the consequences?